Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 2014 National Electronic Sports Tournament here in Shanghai, China. LV Gaming versus LGD, best of 3 series. LV Gaming up 1-0. If they take this game, they will take the entire tournament, and along with it, a pretty large prize pool. Again, game number 2 already underway in the draft. Thank you so much for joining us here on High Ground TV. My name is Maut. With me tonight, the man, the myth, the legend from Turn My Swag On, F4L. How the hell are you?
I don't know if I'm a myth and a legend, but thanks for that intro.
You are to me. That's all that counts.
All right, nice. All right, and LGD are going to, I mean, after that last Ember performance, they just say, you know what, we just don't want to even play against this hero, so they're going to go ahead and ban out the Ember and the Bristleback. And LV are going to respond by banning out the Doom, which I think in July seems very comfortable on that Doombringer hero, and the Death Prophet, probably one of the highest contested picks right now in China.
Yeah, they will give a lot. I mean, again, the nature of the ban phase is that you can't always ban everything. So LGD Gaming will pick up something here with their first pick that it is pretty good. But we talked about it in the game last game. Yeah, that Ember Spirit's a deserved ban. I don't care who you are. You're going to ban that. Otherwise, you risk the running a loss again because you're just getting run over by Remnant and Flame Guard. And they pick up the Skywrath Mage, unsurprisingly. I would have liked to see something else, but I think Skywrath Mage is just fine. Maybe like a Faceless Void, but we'll see. LV Gaming go for a similar draft. Ancient Apparition and Batrider picked up yet again.
Exact same picks. And LGD do get their hands on the Skywrath Mage, probably the best support right now, or most highly valued at least, across all regions, I would say. So they go ahead and pick up the Skywrath. I mean, MMY definitely plays a fantastic Skywrath, and LV go for the same picks in the Ancient Apparition and the Batrider. I think LGD, we might see a Void now, just because to get that combination of the Void Skywrath Mage, and, you know, maybe it'll offer them some more team fight AoE disable, which they didn't really have last game.
I mean, like, Faceless Void just provides something that nobody else can provide, which is just that Chronosphere, which is amazing. I mean, against anybody. It'll stop them. And that would have been nice to have against the Ember Spirit, and they do pick it up this time. But this gives them so much. And the thing is that multiple players from LGD can play this hero. I've seen Yao play it. I've seen In July play it. And that's just this tournament. God forbid Siler plays it and he plays a hard carry Faceless Void. I mean, that could theoretically happen. Will it? Who knows? I don't know. We'll see.
10 seconds remaining.
Yep, so they're going to go ahead and pick up the Faceless Void. You know, just a solid all-around pick. Definitely combos well with the Skywrath, and of course they're on the Radiant side, so he'll have a lot easier time on the offlane.
So he survives. He'll be able to pull. He'll be able to get some decent farm. Hopefully we get up a quick Mask of Madness. I like the Batrider pick, and it's almost unfortunate because there's no real way to shut him down from getting his Blink Dagger once he gets some jungle stacks going his way. And that's the issue. I mean, you don't have that same luxury for a Faceless Void.
That is true. And it looks like LGD are going to ban the Venge. Probably, you know, one of the best supports against Faceless Void. Whenever Void goes on a high priority target, you can just go ahead and swap him out. Especially, I would say it's probably the best counter to the Void Skywrath combo, because pretty much no heroes can survive the Void Skywrath combo unless they're able to pop their BKB first, or if they get swapped out. So
they did change the Skywrath Mage ult so that it goes over a longer period of time, but
yeah,
I still think that they're just dead. I mean, the damage
doesn't really matter as far as when it's inside of a Chronosphere. So
it stops time. So I mean, it doesn't really care about the duration.
Definitely does. So I could see LV maybe going for a Shadow Demon this game if they're looking for something to counter the Faceless Void, or they can just say, you know what, we'll just position ourselves very well this game, and we don't really care about the Chronosphere.
They go for the Viper, which I think is a good pick against the Faceless Void. Viper Strike is very solid against him. The attack speed slow, and Corrosive Skin coming out with that as well.
Yeah.
They have the attack slow from Corrosive Skin. I think they have the attack slow. Is there attack slow? Yeah, attack slow from Viper Strike. And an attack slow from Poison Attack. Everything about Viper is slows. This guy is just like...
Yeah. They have a lot of slows on their team right now.
It's like a tranquilizer dart. It's like getting hit by a freight train or something. I don't know.
And I would say Viper probably the most tanky hero up against this Faceless Void Skywrath combo, because he gets the built-in magic resistance with his Corrosive Skin.
Yes.
And the majority of Faceless Void's damage in the early game is going to come out from the Time Lock, which is magical damage, as well as the Mystic Flare, which is also magical damage. So Viper should be pretty tanky even if he gets locked in the Chronosphere, so I like this pick from LV Gaming.
I mean, the heroes, it's good because not only for the reasons you mentioned, but it just wins lanes also. And they pick up the Invoker too, so now maybe an Invoker versus Viper matchup? I don't know.
Well, now no one's going to survive inside this Chrono. Like, it doesn't actually matter because
Sunstrike.
Once you pick up both the Invoker and the Skywrath Mage with the Faceless Void, it pretty much just spells doom for whoever gets chronoed, unless they're able to somehow pop the BKB before.
It's like TI4 all over again.
LGD Gaming.
And LV are going to pick the Slurk, and in the most recent patch, Slurk was buffed against the Faceless Void as his Shadow Dance. He is no longer revealed while inside of the Chrono, and I think we've just seen a lot of Slurk recently, and I think the hero's just quite good.
It's a lot like the Ember Spirit in regards to that. It's very difficult to take down in terms of he's very slippery. He pumps out a lot of burst damage, and he does pretty well early, mid, and late game, I'd say, especially if you get a Blink Scotty. It's very difficult to deal with the Slurk. So LV Gaming have positioned themselves with a really good team. They don't have much team fight. It's a lot of single target pickoff. Whereas LGD, all they really have is team fight.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So.
And, I mean, LV definitely have the lane dominators inside with the Viper and the Ancient Apparition. So both of these heroes very strong inside of the laning phase. So, and we saw that LV can definitely win the lanes and then snowball the game from there.
I mean, LGD, I feel like they have a draft that can lead to success.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the lanes are going to lead to success. And that was the issue last time. They'll pick up the Weaver now. That's something that does pretty well against most of these heroes. It can deal with the Ancient Apparition ultimate by just time-lapsing. And
I think Slurk is quite good against Weaver. The Latch, you can't Sakuchi away from Slurk after he pounces on you, so if you have detection, you can just start wailing on him. You can time-lapse out of it, but I think Slurk is actually quite good against Weaver. Now, Weaver does do quite well against Viper and Batrider, so as it is a natural Lincoln's carrier and dishes out a lot of physical damage, which is basically the counter to Viper.
Viper, I mean, that's the thing. You get up a Desolator for Weaver or any real damage item onto him, and then all of a sudden that Viper is like, well, I guess I'm not as tanky as I thought it was. So, I mean, Viper probably builds towards the mech, though. He'll probably build towards the Aghanims after, so they'll have ways to work with and things to be able to keep him alive and keep his team alive. That's a really good ban. I like the Earthshaker ban here coming up from LGD. I feel like that would have provided them team fight. But LV Gaming go for the Disruptor. And against a lot of these heroes, specifically against the Weaver, it's quite good. It's quite strong. Static Storm, the AoE disable, the AoE silence is really big against the Weaver, making sure he can't get his time-lapse off.
They do lack stuns in this game, sure, on the side of LV. They really don't have any... Well, they have the Batrider mini stun as well as the Lasso, which is sort of a stun. A disable. I mean, it's a hard disable. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's all they have going for them now, though, is that Lasso in terms of just actual disable. They have a lot of slows and latches. Yeah. There's the line coming out from LGD. Is this the MMY line, the famed MMY line coming out for LGD Gaming? We'll have to wait and see. It is. There we go. One of his best coming out. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at LV Gaming. We'll see if LV Gaming can respond and hold even and try to take this series 2-0.
I think this Lion pick is pretty greedy, actually, because both the Skywrath and the Lion definitely need their levels as soon as possible. And it's going to be interesting if they can find the space to get both of them to level 6 as quickly as possible.
They can roam and get ganks, and that might provide them some extra experience to get them towards the level 6. You always talk about how the Viper is susceptible to ganks early on. He's slow. He has no real way of getting away from a gank. And with a Lion and a Skywrath Mage plus the Invoker mid, there's a good chance that...
Probably only need the Skywrath, to be honest, to gank the Viper.
10 seconds.
Skywrath just being so strong with his 1600 range concussive shot as well as all the magical damage that he can just dish out early game. And Viper is just such a slow hero to begin with.
He really is. And that's... that is rectified with treads, but again... I mean, this is going to be interesting. Will they gank him? Will LV get off to a fast start in the lanes? Will they be able to snowball out of control like they did in the previous game? All of these questions will be answered and more as we move into the game. Game number 2 between LGD and LV Gaming, the grand finals of NEST 2014. This is a LAN final, by the way. They're playing this in Shanghai. Soundproof booths. And we'll see how things go. For LV, DDC is going to be up on your Disruptor in the top lane with Demons playing your HI person. That's your support duo. It is ZYF playing the Slark yet again. Mid lane, it's going to be Whisper playing the Viper. And down bottom, the off lane Batrider played by Inflame. Got off to a kind of rough start last game, but was able to... Actually, it was Whisper, I believe, on LGD's side. That got off to a rough start. So... Oh, no. No, it was... I'm wrong. It was Whisper on LV's side, excuse me.
Yep.
30 seconds to
That'll
battle.
be LV Gaming.
And then on the side of LGD, we have Faith in the bottom lane playing the support Skywrath Mage, alongside MMY on the Lion. In the mid lane, we have Yao playing the Invoker, probably his most famed hero. We'll have Sylar playing the carry one position Weaver, and in July on the offlane Faceless Void.
So in July, again, we talked about him having the Radiant Pole Camp to work with in that off lane into the lane, but there will be a nice bounty rune. Luckily, it's not anything like a double damage coming out, so in July should be okay for the time being. Invis for MMY, this is a ganking rune if I've ever seen one, and they did spot this out. There was this Observer Ward that should have given them vision, yet in fact it does. And so now, if you're in Flame, you're probably not walking forward here into this lane for a period of time. In fact, he's just going to head to the jungle and probably stack it up for the time being, and well, that is going to give free farm to Sylar down bottom, so...
He might just jungle from level 1. I mean, it's actually very hard for him to accomplish anything in this offlane except for dying because just of how much damage and disable they have coming out from both the Skywrath. I mean, once Skywrath hits level 2, the lane's pretty much nearly impossible for this Batrider, so... I think doing the smart thing starting out in the jungle.
Speaking of impossible, Yao is having kind of a rough time right now. This is a very tough matchup. Especially once Poison Attack starts coming up and Whisper harasses him outside of the lane. But Yao's actually holding his own. He's not playing too poorly, and he's getting a couple of CS here and there. Top line, the Faceless Void. I mean, this is the problem. He has to save his time walk, or else he's going to get glimpsed back, and DDC's going to be on his ass the entire time he's in the top lane, I think. And I don't see him getting any CS unless he's under his own tower.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So we'll have to see how Injuli plays this up. He's going to have to salve already, which is a big issue. So all of his regen's kind of gone.
Already forced to solve it. Looks like Inflame stacking up a little bit. He stacks up both the medium and the large camp, and he's going to rotate back down to the bottom lane to try to pick up some experience. But it's going to be pretty hard for him to get any experience. I mean, the Skywrath Mage almost level 2. And once the Skywrath Mage is level 2, if they ever can get the concussive shot into any other disables from Lion, he's just going to fall.
So, I mean, this is going to have to be very passive play from Inflame. And there's going to be the concussive shot coming up, but the Inflame Firefly will come through. So he actually stays in a pretty good spot now, and I don't think they can go on him without concussive shots. So
it is worth noting that there's a nice double wave here. So Inflame's going to get a lot from this wave as far as experience goes, since the gank attempt on him failed.
He starts off, he's a bit behind the experience of the other offlaner, which is going to be in July, but I mean, it's pretty close. In July actually picks up a poor man's shield now, and he's way out of position. There's the Cold Feet going in there. There's the Thunder Strike as well, and in July, he's going to time walk away. They don't have the range for Glimpse. Maybe they do. No, it's still level 1. But in July has no real regen other than these tangos. He's got to find his salve soon, or maybe just stay back and let the tangos regen for him. But he's very, very, very low, and this is a very rough lane for LGDs in July.
Oh, and Inflame is getting sandwiched here.
He's going to be on the high ground, though, and he should be fine. Firefly is still going, and he's chasing after MMY currently. Earth Spike did go. He still has plenty of mana to work with, however, but Inflame's just going to back away and say, hey, listen. That's a funny Earth Spike you got there. I'm fine. So Yao's now farming up against the Whisper mid lane. 5 last hits, 6 last hits for Yao, and he's actually just taking so much rest from Whisper, who's got 12 last hits. And again, this is not really a shock, honestly.
12 last hits and 12 denies, so doing really well in the mid lane by Whisper.
He's getting plenty of denies. He gets yet another one here, and Yao's Invoker, again, he might be really good with this hero. And this might be one of his best, if not his favorite hero, but this is a very tough matchup for any player, especially because, I mean, Viper just pretty much wins so many matchups. It's ridiculous.
I would say the only one that's like even remotely even is the Viper matchup. But even then, I think Viper does quite well.
You mean Razor?
I mean Razor, sorry.
Okay. I was like really confused for a second. I was like, well, the mirror matchup. It's going to come out.
Viper as well against Viper. Who would have thought?
There was a game, there was a clone, a Dota or LoL clone that was shown on NEST stream the other day, and they actually it was like a competitive game, and they allowed mirror matchups. It was really weird. It's like they just picked the same heroes. It was a big hero pool too. It's kind of strange. Anyways, I digress.
And actually, they changed how corrosive skin works just for 1v1s in the last patch. Because it used to be that corrosive skin would proc corrosive skin, so you'd have this infinite chain of corrosive skin.
No longer.
No longer.
Thank God. What a dumb ability. That hero's just actually... I love Viper, but that hero's... He's pretty good. And the only thing he doesn't really bring to the table is, like, late game team fight. And, like, he kind of falls off. They're going to rotate over. And they actually are probably just going to die behind this tower. MMY's coming in. They actually have vision. He's just going right in. There's the Hex Up, the Concussive Shot as well, the Ancient Seal. And there's going to be the Sunstrike after the Earth Spike. Whisper taking a lot of damage. He does have Corrosive Skin. And now they will get the kill. MMY Cold Feet it up. They might even be able to get Demons. Cold Feet does latch. Demons getting low. The right click will kill him. Do they have the Arcane Bolt? Absolutely. Demons. He does get the return kill, but at what cost? Here comes Inflame. Maybe they get more out of this. He's going to try to TP home. He is going to make it out. Faith. What a TP scroll coming his way. Woo, baby.
Yeah, really smart TP, knowing that it is very unlikely for Inflame to have a skill point in Flame Break, and he's able to make it out safely. And really good rotation from LGD. The smoke gank definitely paying off. They were able to not only kill the Viper, but the AA, and they lose the line, but honestly not too big of a deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. They'll take that any day of the week. I mean, MMY would like to get 6, but, well, in July, this guy's having a tough time. Level 5 for the Bat Rider, level 3 for In July in this top lane. They have to find some way to get him farm. Weaver is down bottom, and he's got 38 CS, but the next top CS are the Slark, the Viper, and then the Bat Rider right afterwards. Well, mid lane, there's the Concussive Shot. They're not going to go for this kill. Skywrath was there, but they're just going to sit mid right now. They're going to put pressure on Whisper. In fact, they're balling up, and they might look for yet another tower, as they've already taken the tier 1 down bottom for Sylar.
Yep. So LGD off to a much stronger start in this game than in the previous game, and it looks like they're going to smoke up MMY, In July, and Faith. And Viper might fall again.
There's going to be the Concussive Shot mid. There's the Time Walk in. They will use the Sunstrike, the Ancient Seal. They're going to blow up this Viper. The Hex Up as well. He cannot get his stick off. He had 6 charges, nowhere near enough time to help him out. But they rotate 4 heroes over. I mean, yeah, they're killing the Viper, but they're letting Inflame get his farm in the jungle. They're letting top lane farm like crazy. Slark, you can see why it's sitting at 44 last hits. So unless they get this tower, it's only a Viper kill at the end of that. So,
no. But I mean, at the same time, Sylar is free farming in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
So the only real difference is that we have Inflame at level 6 on his Bat Rider with 1,000 gold, and In July sitting at level 3 with no gold. So that is the main difference right there. And
farm. This Face's Void is so under leveled right now. It's just he's lower level than all of the supports in the game. He's going to be a glorified support when he does get his level 6. I mean, it's a good thing that Chronosphere is a great ability. Otherwise, I'd feel like he's almost useless in this game.
And Midas, I think, completed by Yao. So really good timing for the mid lane, Midas on Invoker.
Yeah, those kills certainly helped out. And the extra tower cold helped out as well from that bottom tower. Yao will get his ward countered here. They throw up the sentry. They get high ground vision. So Yao actually now has to be a bit more careful in the lane. He'll head to the jungle. He'll use his Midas once or twice. I imagine a Necro 3 comes out from Yao. That seems to be the case for most Quas Exhort Invokers. I don't see why he would get any other item like a Blink this game.
Most likely going to be that Necro 3.
Concussive? Not going to go. DDC. There's the Ancient Seal. I don't know if they get this kill. Hex up, maybe. Earthspike first. Now the Sunstrike's going to come in as well, and they blow him up. Beautifully done. And now Faith is going to try to TP out. He'll make it away. How many times? That's twice already that Faith has TP'd out successfully, and MMY will do the same. These Roman gang squads, this is how the supports get levels, man.
We talked about how LV don't really have any stuns on their team, and once this... I mean, so Disruptor has a way to stop the TPs in the Glimpse, and Batrider has a way to stop the TPs in the Flame Break as well as the Lasso, but if neither of these two heroes are around, there's no way to stop these TPs as Sylar rotates mid and gets an easy kill.
Wow. Whisper is, again, having a rough start. I mean, this is just, he has got nothing. He doesn't have any boots yet. And right now, he's sitting at level 7 with 30 CS. You feel like he should be doing better. The Deny not coming out. Sylar gets the kill with the double damage. He's chasing down Inflame. Look at the damage. He's chunking him. Yeah. but he's not going to get the kill. So, but you saw it also in the top lane. They pounced onto In July, and In July's just like, yeah, I'm time walking away. I'm invulnerable during this. You can't actually stop me from doing that. So the only real way to kill him is through a glimpse, and I think DDC has to play amazingly this game for them to get kills. And I worry for LV now in the second game.
Yeah. Batrider is still on pace for about a 10-minute Blink Dagger as he continues to farm at the jungle. I think if he gets this last large creep, he will have it.
Oh, that's just a really low Hellbear Smasher. He's going to hit it once, and that's going to be it.
So he does get his Blink, and this is the key time for LV. Can they make enough plays and rotations around this Blink Dagger to make up for the deficit that they're currently in?
LV Gaming are like, all right, guess what? Inflame, you got to make some big plays, buddy. Let's go. Because right now it's looking pretty grim. Although ZYF does have good farm. 59 last hits. He's still behind Siler by 4. And July is getting room to get some extra experience now. I mean, he's getting close to 6. So he's caught up. And actually, DDC's only level 4. So suddenly, Injuly gets more room top lane, and he's doing okay. That kill and rotation mid actually helped him a lot. Just getting towards that extra level, so.
Yeah, it also helps that they really can't kill the Void when he gets these points at a time walk. I mean, he's able to sort of time walk outside of the range of glimpse, even when they go on him. So they might be able to pounce on him and do some damage, but they're not going to be able to secure a kill onto this Void.
No. Firefly might go for a Blink Lasso. Yep, goodbye, MY. I think you're dead. He's actually just going to bring him up to the cliff. He isn't dead, but he's going to try to TP out, and he actually might make it away. Nope, there's the glimpse, and he just gets there in time. So they make him waste the TP scroll. Whisper does get the kill, but that's the first kill they've really gotten in some time, in about, I'd say, 7-8 minutes or so, and it's only on MMY. So. And
honestly, if Disruptor wasn't there, he actually would have just survived. And I mean, that's just the problem with this draft.
Bottom tower is under attack.
I mean, that's if you're really relying on Lasso and maybe hopefully getting a glimpse to stop a TP. At this point in time, you're relying on a lot.
I mean, they were sort of hoping that they would have enough slows and maybe enough damage to just kill people, but not currently working out for them.
ZYF needs more farm for that to happen. But he is going for a Blink Dagger, and Blink's great and all, but people could still just TP right out of that if he doesn't do enough damage, which, I don't know, he probably will with Dark Pact and Pounce, so. They're still defending top. There's going to be the Chronosphere going in. ZYF is going to get hit up with the Sunstrike. There's the Earth Spike as well. Now the Mystic Flare. ZYF flown up. Great rotation from LGD and great Chronosphere, and they're chasing after DDC. Oh, the Faker blows him up. MMY Finger Blasts. Poor, poor, poor DDC.
Yeah, and honestly, this isn't going to get any easier. Currently, whenever Chronosphere is up, they can have the gank squad of either Lion or Skywrath alongside of the global coming out from the Sunstrike, and I don't think anyone can survive, and that's a big problem for them.
This just feels like an outdraft for LV. Like, they just can't deal with some of these heroes, and they can't kill anybody. I really think this is a problem.
It's sort of unfair to say it's just an outdraft, because I think LGD have really rotated. They've really rotated so well on these supports in the early game.
Right.
Like, they secured 3 kills on the Viper. Definitely something that you have to do. And they've actually just played a really solid game up to this point. It looks like Inflame might just fall here.
These Sunstrikes have been so good. It's just the Earth Spike into the Sunstrike from Yao. It provides them so much damage, and it kills people immediately. Siler comes in, he takes the last right click to get the kill.
And honestly, we're probably looking at a fairly short game.
ZYF is going to pounce into Salar. He will hit it. He does have time-lapse, by the way, but he's losing a lot of his agility. Shikuchi's away. DDC has no vision.
The problem is, when you draft these lineups with low disable, you lack a comeback mechanic.
Uh-oh, this is a problem. Custom check goes. ZYF, he does Dark Pact off. The Ancient Seal. Sunstrike's going to go. ZYF is going to get hit. Time walk up, and ZYF, he will get the kill on the Invoker. But again, at what cost? 2 dead now on both sides all day. Whisper getting right-click down. 4 spirits. The Earth Spike just hits. Oh my god, MMY, what a player. And now 3 for 2 trade. Oh, that's the best trade they've gotten all game.
Honestly, not a terrible trade from them. But Chronosphere was down for that engagement, so they do pick up the level 6 onto the Ancient Apparition, which is a big level to be getting, as MMY gets hit by the first AA ult of the game.
If DDC gets his static storm off, if he has one there, which he's still level 5, so he doesn't. But if he gets one off in that fight, think they probably are able to kill those heroes faster and stay alive in the process of doing so.
Yeah.
Instead, they take a pretty unfavorable matchup or team fight, and it just doesn't go well. And Sylar is going to be probably getting, I'd say, a 16-minute Linked Sphere. Yeah, that's what it looks like. He's going to purchase up the Town Portal Scroll and the Ultimate Orb, and he's good to go, man.
Yeah. And ZYF goes ahead and picks up the Blink Dagger first item on Slark. And he's looking pretty good on the Slark, actually.
I think this is the hero that gets them back in the game.
Yeah.
I think they need to get some real big items on him. I mean, not that Blink isn't, but...
And if we look at the gold graph, it's already a 5,000 experience, or sorry, 5,000 gold and 3,000 experience lead on the side of LGD.
And at 20 to 25 minutes, even though LV had plenty of kills, the lead wasn't that big, and that was because Sylar was farming. And now LGD, they have just such a wide margin to work with that they can get away with a lot. In fact, they're just going to all rotate top with a Smoke of Deceit.
And I think LGD have the much easier to execute lineup with the... They just have a lot of AoE and a lot of damage.
Oh god! Oh no! Oh, in July, Chronosphere, Earthspike onto 2. The Sunstrike will connect. That'll be onto Demons. DDC is like, please don't kill me. No, sorry, buddy, you're dead. He does buy a stick. MMY does get the double kill. Oh my god! They all 3 of them bunched up, walked to the high ground, Chronosphere, and they're like, yeah, well, I guess we're dead now. I mean, that's the only thing you could say at that point.
Just a little unfortunate that they walked up that cliff like that, and they just walked right into a smoke gang.
Well, it wasn't hard before. They just beat over 3 kills.
So they are going to get the mechanism onto the Viper. It looks like that's flying out right now, so that should help a bit in these teamfights. And it looks like Yao might get ganked on the bottom lane by this Slark, and the AA Blast is coming in.
He will be able to use his Ghost Wall. He is in fact going to pop it, but I know he might still die. Static Storm goes. That's, well, they're actually going on Sylar. He's still Static Stormed up. Now the Shikuchi going through. There's the Ancient Seal. The mech goes a bit early. Whisper is getting caught low. Mystic Flare, he does avoid it. That lasso range, though, onto Sylar. That shouldn't happen. Time lapse, he is going to get it off, and he's going to stay alive. ZYF still chasing. The glimpse back. Dark Pack goes. Sylar is in some trouble. Sticks up. 12 charges. He can't get it off. And they will actually take a favorable trade for the first time in the game, I'd say.
Yeah. Quite well executed fight on the side of LV, and
top tower is under attack.
Honestly, I think LGD, after Invoker survived, maybe should have been a bit more hesitant about re-engaging, but I think they just feel that they're so ahead at the moment that they thought they could just take the fight again, but
no, that's just the hubris, I think, of LGD. And
LB just showing some life right now.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks like they're going to get the bottom tier one.
If they had lost that engagement somehow, they, I think, just lose the game outright at that point. Or at least they're in some trouble. Although MMY wasn't there, he was farming his Blink Dagger top, and he does get it. So this is what we talk about with the supports, is just early Blink Daggers. When you have these types of supports, it's really on you to get these early Blinks up and to try to get the ganks with them. And now he has that, so he doesn't really need a Chrono setup.
Kind of surprised by Angelai's build. He has an Ogre Club and a Morbid Mask. I'm not sure what the order was on these items, but I feel like he should just go Mask of Madness in this game.
Ogre
because...
Club, or rather, Morbid Mask was first.
Okay. Kind of surprising because they're winning so heavily. I think the Mask of Madness not only makes you farm faster, but gives you a lot more kill potential. Going a bit more defensive with the Ogre Club. I mean, sure, the BKB is nice, but maybe he just feels that he doesn't need to offer any damage inside this Chronosphere, and that he just needs it for the disable.
I mean, he's
so
not
getting
wrong.
getting the BKB is just gonna help him survive. So
Sylar does get the 8-minute Linked Sphere. That would have been a bit earlier had he not died down bottom. A bit late for what it could have been, but it's still very good timed. Meanwhile, they're all walking through the jungle. Inflame is smoked up, and they're gonna catch out in July potentially. Who are they going to lasso? No, they back away.
No, they're not going to do this. There's too many. They saw them with the Observer Ward.
That's just, I mean, I think that's the right call, but they are having just a really rough time right now. They can't even find a single Smoke of the Sea can't kill them in their enemy jungle, so. And now I imagine LGD, Yao has level 2 Necro Book. Maybe they go for a smoke or they try to push in. And if they get a couple of kills, they just take Roche, so.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So they're going to go up top. Sylar's going to continue to farm. Lincoln Sphere is done. His next item, is it going to be a Diffusal Blade, or not a Diffusal, Desolator? Jeez, God. Imagine a Siler with a Diffusal Blade on a Weaver. What a player that would be.
That'd be awkward.
Yeah, a little bit. But Angela going to continue to farm. Will he get the BKB? The Mask Menace. What's he going to buy? Necrobook 3 coming out for Yao, so he's got that 19 minutes in. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be go time. They're going to have the Double Force Spirits, the Necrobook 3, and how does LV take a team fight against this? I'm not entirely sure. I think they're just...
3 is disgusting early on.
Yeah. Especially when you have such an advantage. I mean, it really shines.
I mean, the mech's going to help a bit. Their supports are so squishy that they'll just die instantaneously. Batrider's even pretty squishy to his own right. I mean, the only thing keeping them alive is honestly ZYF and his ability to sustain in team fights. But look at all the vision coming out. Although this ward is going to go down, the Radiant Wards coming out from LGD are outstanding. So all they need to do now is keep the pressure on, make sure ZYF is not getting any farm, take the last couple of objectives, take Roshan, and I think maybe win a fight and they win the game. Well, Whisper, he's dead. They throw 3 ultimates at him, I believe. No, it was just the 2 actually with MMY and Faith. And then the Sunstrike coming in from the Invoker, and that's an easy kill.
And looks like they're going to get the top tower for free, no contest from LV after Whisper falls, and they're probably just going to go to the mid lane and take this tier 2, and I'm not sure that LV can do anything about it. They still have the Chronosphere available, Finger of Death not available, Skywrath's ult will be available again in about 30 seconds, and they should get this tower relatively easy.
What are LV doing? Their positioning is interesting. They all know that they're mid. They
Yeah,
smoke
they
up. Are they going to try to engage on this? They're going to wrap around?
They
Siler's
really
out
need
of
to
position.
wait for the Viper, I believe.
They all spread out. LGD, either their Spidey senses were tingling or they just didn't want to take the tier 2 tower. They didn't want to fight into that.
And they saw that LV weren't showing on the bottom lane or the top lane, so they figured that they were going to just defend mid. So they just back out smartly. They're probably just going to wait for all of their ultimate cooldowns and the book and either go mid or bottom to contest the tier 2s.
Siler continues to farm while this is all happening. They try to cut the creep wave with the illusions coming out from the Slark, who, by the way, is going for a Scotty next. Unsurprisingly, wow, shocker, Slark going for a Scotty. Who would have guessed? Siler's got to be picking up his Desolator. I almost did Diffusal Blade again. God.
And he's going to have his Scotty at a really good timing considering the state of the game. He's almost got a second ultimate orb, so he's about 1400 away from his Scotty.
That's not bad.
And yeah, honestly, not a bad timing. He's probably going to have it at about 24 minutes.
Maybe that's the way they get back in this game is by Slark just being generally unkillable. Although, I feel like they need to get a good Lasso from Inflame and a good Static Storm. They have to just have a good fight in general. That's really what it comes down to. That's a Maut note, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here all day. MMY and Faith, they're going to continue up in the top lane. They're stacking up or just taking some of the jungle farm. They're looking to finally take this tier 2 tower mid lane, though, and this is the right time to do so. Again, 2 more tier 2s left. There's the one in the mid lane, and there's one in the bottom lane as well. Yao is backing away. He does have almost max exort, 1 point to the Wets as well. Kinetic Field's going to go. The Viper Strike's going to go onto the Necro Warrior, and that's actually Viper's ultimate on cooldown, but he does kill it. So at least they get that done. But the Forge Spirit's now going to work the tower. Smoking Deceit from LV. Blink, Lasso. They did use the Lincoln Sphere pop. Now the Static Storm going as well. Sylar gets blown up. They do kill one. Now ZYF. Sunstrike, he's shot against as well. They back away from the Chronosphere. Mech goes. Deafening Blast. ZYF might fall here. The Arcane Bolt should kill him. The right click from Sylar. He bought back in time-lapse. Then Whisper getting low. He'll fall as well. Triple kill coming in from Faith. Demons is done. 4 dead. And LGD maybe one more fight away, if not already GG being called.
So the start of that fight looked decent for LV. They were able to trade the Bat Rager's life for the Weaver's, but that Weaver mechanic where you can just buy back and instantly time-lapse back into the fight just proving to be a bit too strong, and LGD take a really convincing team fight.
Kinetic Field's going to go, blink forward. MMY goes deep looking for DDC, doesn't find him. He has Finger, so if he had gotten his Hex off, he kills him. Comes back into MMY. How are you? He's just giving him the good old how do you do. Wow, that Ice Blast actually is huge. They'll take the tier 3 tower. They have to back now. Time-lapse from Sylar to avoid some of the damage. Faith is maybe going to shatter. No, he stays alive. They all stay alive. And then had that been level 11 Ancient Apparition Ice Blast, that's probably a couple of kills. Maybe just one, but...
Maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah. But tier 3 tower's done, and... Well, LGD, they are very close to evening up this series.
Yep. I think LGD will probably maybe look for a smoke ink and then take either Roshan or the bottom tier 2. Probably Roshan, I would think at this point.
It's a safe
Although
play.
Roshan is quite difficult against the Bat Rider, so I think if they kill the Bat Rider in the gank, they'll go for Roshan. If they don't kill the Bat Rider, they might just go for the mid tier, the mid Rex.
Inflame's gonna spot out Sylar. He does have a Force Staff to break the Lincoln Sphere with, which is what we saw, I believe, in that mid engagement. I don't know. I mean, I think if you're Sylar, maybe you just sit back and you CS and you wait until your buyback's up. It's 7-minute cooldown, so I mean, he still has 5 minutes to wait. Although I don't think his death, if he dies again, I don't think they can get much out of it. They still have a tier 1 mid to go through, so I guess you could still play pretty aggressively.
I mean, he will have a long death timer if they kill him again, and as well as he won't be able to rejoin the fight. So I think LGD probably going to be a bit more cautious about just having Sylar on the front line, just hitting the tower. But since there's no tower in the mid lane, I am kind of surprised that they're not being more aggressive, actually.
Wow,
and as they say that,
CYF
they're going
gets
to kill
blown up. They
CYF.
throw up the Finger of Death and the Mystic Flare, and Faith will gladly give up his life, but not before Yule Scepters. He has the haste rune, but he's going to die. He actually just bought a gem as well, but he gives up 600 gold to Whisper, which is nice. But I mean, they lost ZYF for that, and ZYF is not the target that you want to have picked off. And he was so close to getting his, gosh, Scotty. I have Scotty. God, I don't know what happened there. But
Oh, he actually doesn't have the Scuddy yet.
no, he does not. He only has 2 ultimate orbs still. So, big pickup coming out from LGD. I mean, the support play this game in comparison to the last game for LGD it's just so much better.
Yeah.
And I feel like MMY is so comfortable on this hero. Not that he's not comfortable on Rubik, but they have a support duo that really works well in terms of ganking.
I think it's just the matchups of the cores from LV. LV's cores in the last game were really difficult to play against as supports, so but this game they're a bit easier. They aren't as mobile. They can't kill you extremely fast, and
Disables.
yeah, no disables. That's always a help.
That's the problem, man. Well, they'll continue to farm the jungle for LGD. For LV, their map's pretty dark at this point. They have a couple of wards, actually, one at Roche, and then one down towards the bottom jungle here, but I think and MMY has another smoke. BKB goes. Chronosphere and Flame in trouble. Sunstrike's going to go as well. Mystic Flare, they can grab 1 kill, and he's going to continue to go. There's going to be the Earth Spike on the DDC, the Ancient Seal. They're going to blow up DDC Hillfall. Cycling up, the Yule Scepter coming in. Double kill coming out. Dark Pack comes in. ZY's like, I'm alone. Inflame does buy back, but that was the pick they were looking for to try to get into Roche, but the buyback means that they can't go yet.
So it looks like Whisper is going to be going for a BKB instead of finishing his Aghanims first. I really agree with this choice because if he's able to pop the BKB before the Chrono, I think he's going to be able to survive all of that magical damage. Obviously, he's not going to take any magical damage, but he's going to be able to survive through the Chrono. And I think if they get a couple of BKBs, maybe even on ZYF after the Scotty, they might be able to maybe come back into this game. I mean, it's still going to be a tall order as the Void is getting really farmed. And, I mean, LGD's heroes just scale so well into the late game.
It's not just the Void, it's Sylar as well, who now has the Desolator. So, yeah. I mean...
And it's Weaver and Void.
Yeah.
So...
Again, and it just... The Faceless Void provides so much. And that's why he's still first pick material, even with all the changes. I mean, they nerfed his radius of his Chronosphere. I mean, that still didn't take him out of competitive scene. It's still a big AoE. God, it used to be so big before. It actually is just ridiculous to think about it. But, well, LV Gaming. Inflame is seating in the side shop right now. He may be out of position a bit, but he seems to be okay. He's living on the edge, if you will.
ZYF finally finishes up his Scotty. It'll be interesting to see if he decides to go for a BKB next, which I think is probably going to be his choice. Even though it's not an optimal item on this hero, they just have so much magic damage and disables that he's probably going to need that 10-second invulnerability.
Smoke of Deceit from LGD.
Looks like they're just going to go into Roche. Yeah.
This Observer Ward doesn't get vision of the Brisket, so... but Faith is actually going to get spotted, I think.
Yeah, they kill it so fast with the Alacrity on Weaver.
Yeah, the Alacrity, Desolator, Sylar picks the Aegis. It's go time. Head to mid, take the racks. Let's take a fight. Let's win the game. Buyback status. Who's got it on the dire side? Let's say nobody from LV has buyback here. And LGD, they're on a warpath. They want to take this game and they want to bring it back even, and they want to force this to a best of one. And they're about to do so, it looks like.
So, in the previous mid-fight, in the one that it was kind of close for LV, it looks like they're going to go ahead and lasso Yao.
Yao's going to fall. It looks like, no, he pops the BKB, and he's fine. Now, big Chronosphere coming out from in July. Sunstrike Z-Wipe is blown up. No buyback. Whisper's going to be the next target. GG gets a call immediately afterwards. Weaver with a double kill. Yao picked up a kill on the Slark. And they actually killed 4 heroes in that engagement. I don't know where those other kills came from, but LGD, man.
Just too far behind on the side of LV. I mean, in the previous fight that they sort of exchanged, well, it wasn't even evenly, but they were able to kill Sylar, but now that he has the Aegis, a pretty much impossible team fight to win at that point, so.
That BKB, I didn't even know he had it at that point. Once that BKB got popped, I'm like, yep, this game it's about over. So, LGD, they secure the victory. And now, one game to decide the winner of the NEST 2014 LAN Finals. We will find out in just a moment who will be the victor, as game number 3 is coming up again. I'm Maut, with me is F4L here on High Ground TV. Make sure you follow us on the channel. And we'll take a quick break and head into game number 3 for you guys in just a second. We'll see you in a second.